Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. Paulina here, talking to you a little bit about this full moon conjunct Chiron and retrograde that is happening in Aries on the 17th of October. Just a little note, I will be turning 39 on the 16th, so I'm very excited for the coming time. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about what is happening with the sun. So we have Juno conjunct sun. What does Juno represent? So this is about healthy living, feeling kind of slightly inspired. So this is an inspirational time. The best I can do for you is prepare you for the coming Scorpio time. So as we are going into the 22nd, 23rd, it's going to be dark and it's going to be hard. And even before we are building up to Scorpio, it is going to kind of have its weight on us. So it's going to get dense, it's going to get tired. Some people are not going to be feeling as good about themselves and their life choices as they have been just minutes ago. So the idea basically here is to see how far you've come, become very open to possibility through realizing how beautiful and how amazing your life is today. Count your chickens. Yeah, for some people it's not easy to feel happy, but the happier you feel and the more robust and successful you feel, the better it's going to be eventually later on. And I've been preparing my Patreon audience as well for this, as we are going into a very dense and dark time for some. So the more happy and the more enlightened and the more successful you're feeling during Libra, the better it is going to all go in Scorpio. So fill yourself full of love, give yourself a big hug, appreciate and respect yourself and other people in your story. Feel grateful. Gratitude is a really big thing for us during this time. Feeling grateful, feeling successful, feeling that you have fully evolved certain things in your life. Dragon is about legacy. It is hard to understand this is it. For certain people, this is it. And for some other people, this is not. And it's absolutely okay. And yes, time can move you along. And depending on how progressive and strong your chart is, yes, this is just the beginning, of course. You know, this is nowhere near the end. And I love that about you if you're one of those people that's very progressive and cannot just leave things as they are. But definitely, if you want to be more robust, more secure, and more happy in later times, just give yourself a round of applause. Count your trophies if you have several trophies on your cabinet. It's amazing to feel immaculate. It's an amazing time to feel very happy and to really stand by what you've said and done. It's also a very, very miraculous time for certain people generally to know that they've done all they could in a situation and just to leave it as that. And also, this is kind of the answer to many questions that are happening around the place. Why does this not happen for me? Why does this person not text me back? Why? This is as good as it gets. This is the total full bloom of certain things, as Libra and a dragon year is just about a full sort of quantic yes or a full quantic no. And we just have to count our blessings. We have to get happy about our life results. If you want to really last and feel incredibly well established in your life, if you want to feel more positive in your world, if you want to feel more healthy and more abundant, just start saying yes. Start saying thank you and start feeling gratitude for just that which your body has come to, that which your life has come to. Understand this is the quantic sum. You know, so sometimes it's not easy. We close our eyes. We say no, no thanks. We believe that we are worth way more than that. Like this can't be it. And this is why things go down a lot. And this is why we have shadow come in where there should not be any shadow. So as we are still going through the golden, positive, masculine sign of a Libra, also with Juno there and South Node and Lilith trailing behind, just get good, just feel great, become more robust, be grateful. This is the golden middle, okay? And the opposite sign is Aries conjunct Chiron, who will have this moon, and yeah, it's going to be very hard, so hard to say no. It is going to be so hard to be open to possibilities. It's hard to find respect for oneself or other people. It's difficult. It's difficult. You know, like the eyes are kind of squinting. It's like, I'm not sure if this is what I was really meant to be. I'm not sure if this is exactly the vision of life that I've had in my mind, or I'm not really that grateful. Try to burn this out. So burning it out is saying yes, being strictly positive, yes to manifestation, yes to, you know, the mind being above matter, meaning not necessarily above matter, but being incredibly skyrocketing positive and being incredibly young and free, and even if you like, brainwashing yourself or even other people, so to say, into feeling positive, even though they are not feeling good about themselves. Even if you don't feel great about it, make sure you feel like you're winning. Winning is a big thing. Winning, feeling like the winner, feeling like you've done everything you could have done, feeling that it all had a positive outcome in the end and that it was worth it, because this is going to help you feel better about your life, about your love story or stories. Is going to make you feel a little bit more established in yourself, and it's going to start a really good for you process. Even though it may not feel like it's going to change anything, it may not feel like your time has done anything that you wanted it to do, but it is going to walk into the right frequency. It is going to put itself together if you really intend on that which is going on for you to be true and to be right and correct. We do have the Hunter's Moon. We have the moon in a very close proximity to the planet Earth, and it is going to be very wise, very strong, and very giving. This is a wonderful moon also to stay at home for some people that don't believe or trust that life is easy, that feel that things are weird. It is really, really the golden sum or the golden middle to feel great. To feel great. I know it sounds like I'm sort of like really going over the same thing back and forth. To feel great, to feel good, to feel positive, to feel confident, as that is going to build you up to the next level very fast. In certain situations, it's not about feeling like a sports person. It's not about building up that, that chemical or that hormone to like push. It's not about pushing necessarily, as Aries is a sign of kind of like walking out there and doing it for yourself. It's not necessarily about this. It's just about your hormones and chemicals feeling correct. They connect. The story adds up, which is what Libra is, things adding up and the maths being right. And then eventually, as you feel more positive, or as everything is equated and you don't have any problems anymore, you don't have any questions anymore, you don't have this horrible feeling, which is really bad during this time. It's like, no matter what I do, it never adds up. No matter what we do together as a couple, it's always frustrating and boring, no matter what. So this thing that is going like this is just taking your energy and light. So this is just about this really uncomfortable behavior that actually a lot of people are practicing within themselves and each other. It's not even about other people, if you really think about it. And I understand somebody said, commented in my last videos, that it is about other people and kind of like having a balancing with another person. But if you really want to put yourself together and get things right in your life, you got to stop relying that somebody else is going to do it for you sometimes. So basically get the balance right inside of yourself, and then everything feels fine later on in your life. If you don't feel balanced in yourself, then after all, what this is going to do is cause more feeling of dislodgement and degradation, and feeling like somebody else hasn't done what you said, or somebody else did something that you didn't want them to do. It's like on and on and on. It's on and on and on. So nagging experiences, people feeling sad, and it's just like a nagging, sad, dense energy. We can't do this anymore. So also, yeah, of course, Chiron is next to the moon. He's going to really help you solve things. So that means that maybe you need to see a very solid practitioner to help you, so you're no longer just carrying this load. And I've really focused on my Patreon team in the last few months about not carrying these karmas anymore, and not having any loads that you're just basically carrying on your shoulders and you're crying, but you still keep on going. So not to have these karmic experiences. And even if you don't have it all together, say it's great, or at least admit that things add up. And you could say there's no mistakes in the universe. Now, this is something that most people would not be very happy in hearing. There is no mistake. There is no mistake through the, choice making and the balancing the last few years. Here is the finished product. There is no choice also outside of certain choice, meaning this is the final finished product, and we have to be absolutely okay and stop nagging ourselves and each other. And if you are not happy with your life, at least say, okay, cool, I get it. It all adds up. Like, maybe this is not where I'd like to be, or maybe this is not what I intended, but okay, I admit that maybe I did something, or that I didn't consider certain things, and sure, maybe this is not 100% result that I was looking for, but considering the plus and minus, considering what the world is, considering certain solid common facts, considering other people in the picture, this is the best that I could have done it, or this is the best that life could have been. And that is already a yay. So just admitting that God doesn't make mistakes, just admitting that life eventually comes to a solid connect and has a nice solid balance, that everything in the universe is balanced. Just admitting that you're experiencing a certain state of balance is going to take away all of this mischief that is going on for a lot of people in the world. So things like, it shouldn't have been me, I can't believe, why me, why did this happen to me, why did that person do this to me? So all of this type of karmic storytelling is very, very hard. And you see, like, as I'm going through this, maybe a lot of you guys who are really interested in astrology and esoterics are already like, okay, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Why? Because I want magic. I want something else. This makes me feel really shy. And I get why this makes people feel very shy if you actually think about it, that everything in life is what it is. And we just have to feel the grace of the divine, or we have to feel the grace in the universe and respect it for what it has eventually equated to, and say thank you to ourselves and other people in the game. And be grateful, remain grateful, and take a deep bow and sense this feeling of grace. And sure, sometimes things are really hard. There are certain laws, what causes diabetes, what causes cancer, what causes lack of energy, or, chronic fatigue. Some very big things that are up on the surface now, they're going to be very hard to solve. So for example, chronic sadness, chronic lack of finances, chronic obsession about love that doesn't work out, chronic intimidation from other people, a chronic negativity in your world, a chronic feeling of sadness or dissatisfaction in your partnership, or just a chronic sadness. Now, we don't need to do anything about it. We don't need to just look at it as a thing and say thank you and log off. What do I mean by log off? This is the worst time to pull and push. This is the worst time to go into an argument with somebody telling them that they owe you something. This is the worst time to say that God made a mistake, or that this is not true, or this is impure, or none of this makes sense, because it all has to be this way, because this is all that the world could have offered. Considering all the little facts, all the little fractals of life, this is all that could have been created after all through space and time. And for us souls that have gotten over it, we're no longer burdened with these opinions and state of disrespect in terms of what has happened to me and how dare that person and how dare this other person. We're no longer burdened by these situations where we want to go in and argue who was wrong and who was right. If you're no longer in argument and you're no longer trying to balance out another person, tell them who you are and tell them who you should have been to them and what you deserve. Like, you're no longer basically in a state of argument within yourself, within your soul. Then you don't need this. But yeah, for a lot of people that don't have any argument today, that don't have any balancing to do, and that have completely admitted that things are strong, well, you're like stronger than a bear, you're like stronger than a mountain. You're sitting there and you just elevated by your own design, by default. So maybe you are feeling these feelings, and now that's where the Aries moon has no problem with you. So what I mean is, like, you are sitting there and you're saying, yep, I did good. Yeah, yep, I'm proud of my life. Or yes, this is what I want. Or yep, I'm happy. Or yep, I understand. And this is nice. So this feeling of just sitting there in a lotus pose, or, on your chair, wherever you're sitting, and feeling incredibly safe. You don't have to leave your space to do anything. Maybe there are more contemplative hours given to some people during this time. Maybe there's more stability. Maybe there's more of a stopping of certain errands or certain spinning dervishes. There's stopping of certain job loads, workloads, and karmas. And there's just a really nice situation that already probably has happened to you, as it did to me and several people I know. You stop trying so hard, and you stop forcing things, and you stop masking that which is actually going on, and you stop feeling disheveled or abandoned or abused, and you stop feeling negative towards anything or anybody, and you just want to feel it. And this is when this is a very big, big, big sense of satisfaction that should naturally spill over you. It's kind of like dripping honey. So it's kind of like, if you can imagine a certain warmth or a feeling of divine connection. And it's not something that you had to chase, and it's not something that you had to become over time or get good at. It was always there. It is just that you were previously not conscious of it. So this is like you are innocent enough, maybe, or you're conscious enough to just respect this feeling of balance and satisfaction, which is what the Libra sun is. And this is where you simply guide people by just being there, by just sitting there. This is where you have a passive speaking role or non speaking role. But this is where you don't need to bring anything to the boil. This is where you don't need to alchemize anything or push things into creation. You don't have to argue. You don't have to look for a bargain. You don't necessarily have to be anybody. So if you are sensing that you are getting more and more present, as you are sensing that you're getting more and more eloquent and more contained, and like the words that you're saying are really ringing through, and you don't need to repeat things several times to do your best. You don't have to do things over and over again because you got them right the first time. As you feel this significance and return to a certain state of innocence, you don't need this. You don't need this channel. You don't need astrology. You don't need anybody telling you who you are, because you basically have got it all inside of you. So this is a compact, strong, deliberate, plush, healthy, sensitive, but also very respectful and very grand, a very great feeling. And it's not about all people, it's not for all people in the world, of course, but there are going to be certainly some people that are just elevating. They're just elevating. It's just like they're coming out and they have just completely become it. And what I mean it, well, you know, the story of success and legacy and doing the best you can, that is what Dragon Year has always been about. Now, this is a very nice marking. We are in a halfway zone through the year. If you can imagine, that year begins in March, so October would be the half year. And, well, September actually would be, and then October. Yes, basically the half year. And the moon is in the first sign of Aries, and it is really, really right to just feel like, yeah, I have finally risen, or like I have finally given myself the time to associate, or I finally forgave and forgot, or I have fully stopped a cycle of discontent, or I stopped trying so hard, or I stopped doing so much for very little result. And I've started respecting myself and other people, or I've started feeling familiar, like I was no longer a stranger in the world or a stranger to the world, that the world was a friend of mine always. And I felt this feeling kind of dripped like honey through my body, or like through my being, and it touched every little bit of me. And that means it gotten through every single part of who I am and all that I've been. Now, this is a very, very deep and phenomenal feeling. You know, Chiron, the wounded healer, the expert at yourself. You know, it's not about necessarily being an expert dancer or like a writer or, I don't know, person. It's like being an expert at who you are. So if you can imagine, the feelings are very real and solid, and it's just about trying to not necessarily tribe yourself with other people. It's not about another person. It's not about putting yourself in this nook or that nook. It's not about this box or that box. You know, if you are really fully flowering during this time, it's just about being a friend of time itself. It's becoming a big person that fits anywhere. This is about not just fitting, it's about using your time and energy on this planet to feel incredible success and focus just on that which is, and feeling incredibly safe, and then also becoming so safe and so balanced and so well, and becoming so strong and so healthy and so giving and so caring for yourself, not just like giving other people stuff so that you've got a place, giving just like vibrant. It's not just that, it's becoming lush, you know, it's just being so lush that you basically don't need to do anything, and you don't need to pull the cart uphill. You don't have to go out there looking for jobs. You don't have to walk out there looking for the one. You don't have to do any of these karmic stuff, because you are already who you are and who you've always been. So the idea basically here is also to take maybe sometime, and consider that there were all these parts of you throughout the years that didn't know if they were worthy. There were lots of us, maybe, also under the spell of like the questioning, like, what was I like up to when I was a kid? Who was I in high school? Where did I even, show up in the end of the day? What were my biggest questions in life? Some of us had to go through this memory lane, as Dragon does pull out this inadequacy that we may have had harbored since we were born. Like say you got put into a certain type of school and you got spoken to in a certain way, or you had certain type of conundrum with other kids and you didn't know if you were going up or down, or if, who anybody was. So all of this confusion that is learned behavior and societal behavior and inherited behavior from the parents has got to just be a nice feeling. Like, yeah, okay, I've got it, I got this. And then you can, if you like, you don't need to do this if you're already there. But if you're not there, you can tap yourself on the shoulder when you were 15, running around town for no reason, when you were 3 or 6 years old and your parents told you off for nothing, and when you tried so hard in, middle school, or like when you had so much heavy feelings and emotions during university, whatever you've got, you're just pulling it all out of your life and saying, it's okay, we are here, we are stable. So it actually never really mattered if you did or did not feel married or unified or signed to a contract with any other people, significant other, or just like neighbors or territories. It's not needed if you have yourself. If you have yourself, you don't have to have submissive contracting. You don't have to be at a surface or at a pleasure to someone else to make yourself feel blessed. It's like, well, this person loves me because I give them pleasure and I don't know, I support them and I'm always there and I pay for myself. So all of these burdens have to leave. This is not about fitting in with a group that likes you because you're wonderful and because of them you are getting through. And neither is it about being signed to the right body of people or married into the right family. This is not it if you don't have this wealth of time and space within yourself. If you don't feel like you are the avatar, this is not about rushing around making things possible. This is not about buttering up anybody, and this is definitely not about manipulating people, even though Lilith is in Libra. It's not about anything like that. It's just about having a resounding, I would even say, lack of doubt and a feeling of position in the world, no matter who you are and where you're from and where you currently are being, just of pleasure for just the fact that you are and you have come to this place. So this is erasing years of doubt. This is erasing irrelevant or inadequate behavior of yourself or other people, and this is no longer being tribed in such a way where you are incredibly submissive, or you are living a world of doubts and disbelief or disproportion, and no longer caring also for these experiences or environments that keep on demanding things from you or endangering you or intimidating you. This is also probably about just people, income. Sometimes it's about friendships, it's about different types of laws that have been said that are just no longer. And in some cases, it's about destruction of contracts. It's like, I am not going to be spoken to like that. But this is not how you do it. This is not like, I will not be spoken to like. You don't do it because you will lose all your power and all your self-esteem really quick. It's not about this. It's not about ravishing somebody with your ideas, your laws, and your books, because you have lost yourself. This is not about intimidating other people. It's just about feeling good and then using this warmth to appreciate and respect the life that is in other people. Recognizing that life is a grand work of art, and God the creator has created everything, and there is no wrong, there's no real evil, nothing. It's just everything is what it is. So you don't budge from your place, and you don't butt into somebody else's life, and you don't shake them for something that they owe you, and you don't change your philosophies to suit the philosophies of others, because this is ugly. It's ugly to walk out there and tell a person that they owe you something. It's ugly to push a person from their place of security and try to instill your values. It's ugly, it's dense, it's dangerous as well. And it's just eventually for you nothing. Also, if you kick a person out of their place and take something that is theirs rightfully, if you colonize their place, their space of mind or their space of life, you will inevitably experience a disbalancing, a disproportionate feeling. It's like an ugliness or a sadness or scarcity. You will not get more. If you have stolen something from somebody, you will not get more. You will just be like, oh, that sucks. And eventually it will not give you that which you thought it would. It's no longer going to be appropriate for you very quick. So that's the thinking pattern here, basically, is to stay graceful and to delegate your life choices and your life stories from here on out in a graceful, sophisticated, a sparkly, beautiful, and just lovely way, like a majestic way. So that means that you're not making anybody do anything that they don't have to do. That means you're not trying to be something you're not. You're not lying to yourself or other people. You're not making something possible that shouldn't be possible. And you're not making something impossible that is already happening. It's just having the grace. Libra's grace is just having grace. And then eventually, inevitably, things go wrong sometimes for some people. There's going to be some trouble. There's going to be some damage. Chiron is going to also spike a few things. It's like, oh crap, I got to go to the doctor, or crap, I got food poisoning again, or something like that. So the best part of this is to be strong and face anything in your life as a mountain. Like face everything in your life with strength and care and humbleness and maybe a bit of creativity and a bit of sort of this like subdued grace. It's not about fighting for the place under the sun. It's not about trying to get your man, or your woman. It's not about messaging somebody who doesn't want to talk to you. It's about like a very, very nice, simple symmetry that is kind of archaic, and maybe within it is something of your ancestors or something of your younger years. And then carrying this giant, it's almost like a giant brick of gold. Or if you can imagine, it's a bag of gold, carrying this giant, beautiful karma, or this giant organism that you're in, or carrying your giant amount, like a bouquet of amazing things that have been happening to you, and all the blessings and all the good things, like all the wisdom, all the glory, all the special things that life has been giving you over the last while in such a not necessarily careful way. It's just like you packed your life full of goodness. You packed your life full of good things, good algorithms, good friends, good supports, maybe a good sturdy home, or like a good functioning car, a good pattern. Maybe there's patterns, like for example what you eat or you drink, or like where you go, or like just how you feel. And then that is your treasure. That's for you. And you really like massage it into your body, and you're like, yeah, that's for me. Like, this is mine. This is good. And then you basically bring it all together like a bouquet, and you start to identify with it, because Moon in the first house, in Aries, is like identity. And she's also at a square to this horrible Mars and Cancer, but come what may, it's still a good sign, and it's still okay. It's just about having it all wholesome. And yeah, sometimes it is about, because Cancer is family, it's about genealogy. For some people, it is about getting your genetics together. For some people, it's about having a healthier and more connected body. It's about the connective tissue. For some people, it is about stamina. For some people, it is about just health and just feeling good and feeling strong, and feeling embodied and feeling like this is your life. This is your body, this is your flesh, like this is your house. Like everything here is for you, like understanding that life is not fighting you, like God has not got like some kind of a judgment of you, or like some vendetta against you, and basically becoming blessed, So if you like, you can meditate on the idea of being like on a lotus, like, floating on a lotus, or sitting like the mountain, sitting in meditation, having nothing to do, sitting there and admiring the universe that you have yourself kind of co-created, like admiring yourself, admiring your body, feeling good, big, strong, and maybe even traditional in your body. If you like, if you come from a certain tribe where they wear traditional clothes, wear those clothes. Like say, wear your traditional garments, listen to your music, look at your family album, Mars Cancer. Feel good about yourself and who you are, appreciate, represent yourself, respect yourself, and then like it's not about necessarily feeling selfish. It's not about selfishness. You know, like that feeling. We're so scared of that word, you know, selfishness. But it is kind of about from the self comes a vibration, comes a solidity that eventually translates into many actions, deeds, and experiences and environments from inside, not from outside. Where is it? Where is it? Where's my man? Oh, you know, where's my woman? Where are my friends? Hi guys, what's up? So you are diminishing yourself if you think that somebody else with some kind of contract, like some kind of ring on your finger, or some kind of like proposal is going to neutralize your pain and shame and trouble. This is not about covering your day up with makeup and fun-loving people and, you know, trying to flirt your way through your experience while you have tears in your eyes, which is really obvious and easy to see. It's about coming through for yourself. So you're starting from the inside. So you're starting from your heart and your throat and your rib cage, and you're really feeling like you're massaging this feeling of goodness into your body, like it comes from the inside. And I'm not sure if you are familiar with this, the idea of the energetic Taurus. You know, so this energy just kind of like is like this, you know, it's sort of pulsing through you like a fountain. You gather energy and you release it. It's not about sucking energy from anything, from the earth or from anything, nothing like that. It's not about sucking the energy from the cosmos or other people, obviously. It's just about generating it. It's like there is a space and time from which all the universe comes, you know, this almost like this, if you can imagine, this orifice, I would say, or like this special door. I talked about this door in my Patreon. If you want, you can have a look. And then from this comes the magnetic field and the energy. It's not about you sucking anything out of anything. It's just about you, kind of creator, you know, using your time here wonderfully and feeling balanced and feeling co-creative. And also, if you like, you can put yourself together from who you are, you know. So if you want, you can understand it starts with me, you know, like I take responsibility for who I am, you know. I take responsibility. I love the meanings that I generate, or this is what this means to me, or this is how I feel, you know. So if you want, you can really feel the grit and the strength of your body here during this time. It's really nice to feel sophisticated, to feel adequate, to feel big, to feel like you've finally come to a state of fruition or semi-fruition if you're very young. And it's just about feeling good. And then allowing the sense of goodness to spill throughout your life, but it starts inside. It's not like he did this and she did this. You know, he's got more than me, or she doesn't care about me. Like all of this dispersion and asking how another person rates you, what they feel about you is it's your choice if this is the level on which you like to live. But consider, please, you know, with this Aries moon, it's more important how you're feeling inside out, and then eventually, yeah, with the body and the health and the tissues, and recognizing that this is you and you can't just imagine it away, and then making your life more and more astounding and more associative. And yeah, for some people it is about having an exercise routine. For some people it is about eating superfoods. For some people it is about yoga or, I don't know, contrast showers or something like that, just to feel yourself. And now that's the opposite of the esoteric community, because they don't like to do that. They like to kind of go around in circles looking for meanings. And that's also part of Libra. So if you don't want to feel good inside of yourself, and you don't want to let your body really drive this, if you have no faith in your physicality, the choice is yours. It is always going to be from within. It's not the aliens out there. It's not some kind of a spirit. It's not some kind of being. It's you. It's yours. And then eventually just basically starting to study yourself. And if you don't have your body together, if you are failing, or something about you is feeling very dreamy and very washed out, that's not bad. You just have to notice it at least. And maybe just noticing it and understanding that there is maybe nothing to you, like, you know, the wind blows and you like topple over. If you don't feel like a mountain right now, if you don't feel like you have strength and vitality in your body, or you don't feel like it's an important part of yourself, which I also understand, you need to nurture yourself. You need to nurture that part that believes that you don't belong or that you don't need your body. So it's really, really important to just get physical and get right into it. If you have any kind of physical or mental disorder, face it today, because Chiron moon is going to bring things to an obvious lump sum. So it's like a fruition or obvious center, and then you just really need to know. Like, say if you have an eating disorder, you have to know. If you have a sleeping disorder, you have to know. If you have a biological issue, you have to know, because this is not going to be able to be fixed by itself sometimes, and it's not okay. Some of it is not okay. So just like about knowing that things need to go through their own cycle, and also understanding why they have come this far. And also, if you want, this is going to quicken your process, apologizing for something that you have been doing to yourself or sometimes other people that has brought an ailment into your life. So for example, you've been watching an incredible amount of TV and staying home and not moving. Yeah. Or for example, you have been bothering other people for something that they shouldn't have been bothered with, or you've had several sexual partners and you keep on kind of running around, looking for more experiences. Understand that this is not going to be easy. And it's just about also knowing a fault, for example, understanding what is the fault. Like say if you got diabetes, what's the fault? Understanding if you got a neurological disorder, what's the fault? Understanding that you don't have enough time to do anything in the day, what's the fault? What's the fault? And understanding it, and it's not necessarily about like wallowing, oh, woe is me. Sometimes we do have to have a cry on the full moon, as kind of like all the parasites come out. That's what they say during the full moon cycle. And everything's really obvious in some cases, especially with an Aries full moon. I mean, I would probably definitely suggest not to go too far with this, but definitely some people just need to admit that, like say, they have certain infections and everything has a reason. And as I said earlier, nothing is for nothing. Like everything is balanced in the world, and life will not give you an issue for nothing. It's like, oh, woe's me. And it's not that God is punishing you. It's just like, say, eating a lot of crap food will give you digestive issues, or diabetes or something, or like say having multiple partners is going to be maybe not the safest thing for your body, so that's the thing, is just understanding and recognizing where your actions and words have brought you, and what is the lump sum or like the weighed up result, because Libra is results, like bulk results. This is your bulk result, and then basically you can change it. We're going through a very wild time in Scorpio eventually that is going to be changes galore, and it's going to be skipping and bouncing and changing and radicalizing things all up until the end of Capricorn. So up until January, there's going to be quite a lot of us that want to push, punch, and shove our way past the previous incarnation strategy, or the previous way that our bodies have functioned, or the previous friends that we've got and everything like that. But this is not going to come to some people. It's just whether you do not want to really create a big shift. And not everybody is, I suppose, that way wired. Not every single person is capable of changing their life in a cardinal way. But I definitely don't want to say that you can't, because this is really up to you. Just measure it out. Yes, there are certain boundaries, and then there are certain hops in reality that Dragon still has to offer. And just as a quick note, eventually we're going into Snake. I'm going to be writing a book for Snake in the next month. Definitely be careful. Snake is all smoke and mirrors, and it's a lazy and sometimes ill or debilitating time. It is also a very wise time. It is about alchemy. It is about long-term cleansing and detox. It is about strange ways of getting what you want. But this is not going to be a happy time if you're really, really pushed for results. So if you can understand next 3 signs, okay, next 3 months of Scorpio, Sag, and Capricorn are going to be tough for us. And they're going to be a bit too loud, a bit too risk-taking, and a little bit too chaotic for certain people. You need a lot of bulk. Maybe you need a lot of money, or you need a lot of sophistication, or you need to like deck out your house, or you need to like strengthen your body to really believe in yourself and who you are. So then as you walk through these next 3 months, it's going to be a walk in the park, because you feel so good and sturdy in yourself. Is going to work. So thank you very much. Enjoy, and I will see you with more insights later on. Bye.